there, now that's what I'm talking about. That was a kick-ass opening theme, huh? Yeah, you did good, my little buddy, my little buddy. Hey everybody, welcome. I'm trying to pull my shirt down because it's creeping up my back, and I don't like how the back of the chair is scratchy on my back. Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Defending My Collection. This is the series of videos where I go through my entire Blu-ray collection and talk about each one, show off what I have, and see what little stories come to my mind. Today we're going to do two. I thought we would only do one, the ends, but I was looking and the ends and the M's, not the ends and M, the ends as in Nancy, and the O's as in oh my. I don't have too many. Well, I always say I don't have too many, but look at this, folks. It's crazy. Anyway, everybody, welcome. Thanks for subscribing if you're a new subscriber. I am going to make a subscription. I'm going to make a subscriber shout-out video very shortly. I don't know when. Someday. And I'll call out most of you guys. Before I forget, I just want to give a shout-out to, what's her name? Lori Holt, I think. And she actually responded to me about a movie. What was the movie? I gave out the UV code, and she says, hey, thanks. Oh, it was Back in the Eyes. For It Follows, I gave out the UV code. And she put it in, and it didn't work at first, but then she checked, and she says it was there on her list, so she got it. So congrats. I'm glad you got it. I hope you enjoy the flick. I thought it was a pretty cool flick. And I hope I'll be giving out a UV or more than one. I don't know. I don't know what I have in the O's and the N's here that I can give out. We'll see as we go along. But I hope, once I give them out, I hope somebody who does accept the UV and try it and get the movie will write me back and say I got it, so that I can give you a shout out in the next one. Like I said, the last couple letters, nobody said that they got the UV, so I don't even think I gave one out last in the M's. I don't think so. Anyway, we'll get on to the collection. Did I cover all the bases? Yes. Lori Holt got the UV, and new subscribers, hi. Thank you for subscribing if you're new. If you just popped in and says, what's this video with all these shelves? And well, what is this Defending My Collection? And you're watching it now, thanks for watching. I hope you continue to watch. Please don't be scared away by the length of my videos. I never intended them to be as long as they do become. They're now like little mini movies. I mean, I every once in a while I'll burn one on a disc of the whole thing and watch it, and I'm sitting there for 2 hours watching myself. I usually do that anyway, just to see that I don't make any mistakes, and if I do, I'll down in the miscellaneous message thing, I'll write that I screwed up and this is the right answer or whatever. But anyway, yeah, let's get on with the collection. Like I said, it doesn't look like there's too much, but these two giant towers are looking at me going, talk about us, join us, talk about us. Anyway, let's get primed. Let the thought creation grow. They're spinning around the memories, and I gotta catch them and then talk about something that might come to my head. Wow, it got dark. Is it dark? Do I look okay? I look okay. Maybe I will put the monitor on. I'm gonna give me a little light to look at the movies here. Actually, would this look better? How does this look? Is it better now? Or is it better now? Look at the eye doctor. Better or not better? Actually, that looks a little too bright. Okay, we're in the ends. And the first movie I picked up pretty much sight unseen when it came out. This is done by the director of Napoleon Dynamite, which I really liked. Hey, I should have that here, shouldn't I? Is it? Oh, duh. It's next. This came from Napoleon Nacho. Yeah, Nacho Libre. And I bought it. I thought the trailer was pretty funny. I thought, at the time, I really enjoyed Jack Black's craziness. Now he's a little more of an irritant to me. But, excuse me. Roger is known for his long stories, his long videos, his wandering stories, his long videos, his constant runny nose, and his constant belching. I didn't belch all day today. I come home, I'm talking now 7 minutes, and I'm starting to belch. That's my body talking back to me, no doubt. Anyway, so I took a chance and bought this sight unseen, and I enjoyed it. It's not as good as Napoleon for like repeat viewings, because I did try to watch it again, and it was just like, maybe because by that time I got tired of the Jack Black shtick. I'll have to try it again. I'll have to watch it again and see. It comes with a lot of pretty cool special features. Actually, I haven't seen it in years since I bought it. When did this come out? 2006. So I might have seen it. Well, I don't know if Blu-ray was. Yeah, Blu-ray was out around then. Comes with a little advertisement card. Nothing special. If this would come out now, it'd be a cheapo eco case. See, now it's gotten bright. But let me turn the disc around. At least it has disc art. It's a fun little movie. If you haven't seen it, give it a chance. Like I said, I'll need to rewatch it again to see if I really, really like it. And like it says, if you love Jack Black, you'll love Nacho Libre. Well, I don't love him anymore. I liked him earlier in his career, and I thought he was going to actually start going off serious when he did Peter Jackson's King Kong, which he was comedic, but he was playing a pretty basic dramatic part, and I kind of would like to see him do more of that. Like most of our comedians, our movie comics do, they go off and they do a serious film. Adam Sandler and Jim Carrey and that. So Will Ferrell. I'd like to see him do a pretty serious job. I think he'd be pretty good with the right story. Anyway, first one's out of the way. And from the same director, before Nacho Libre came out, we got the old Napoleon Dynamite. This is the first release that came out. It's got all the special features on there. You can look online. New viewers, I don't really go into reviewing the movies or everything that's on the disc. I basically tell you guys because I tell you guys, go online if you want to learn what the specs are, because most everybody have these movies, and most of the videos that are out there do review the movies and do tell you all the specs and stuff. My collection is so massive, I just want to, let's get through it. And they end up being 2 hours long. Funniest movie, really like it. Came out of nowhere. I've said that before, and that's going to be a catchphrase. Came out of nowhere. Knocked it out of the park. Get it if you don't. See it if you haven't. Poster quotes from Roger D. Yeah, I really liked this because it was so weird and bizarre. The opening, just the opening, and with him waiting for the bus and then tying the string on the little, was it a He-Man, and throwing it out the window and watching it bounce around on the street. It was hooked. I got to watch the rest of this. And the characters just got weirder and quirkier and even more bizarre. But I like it. I really do like Napoleon. I heard they were working on a sequel, but that was a long time ago, and I'm sure they're not going to go back. I'm sure a lot of these characters have changed throughout their lives, and they're not. I don't know. Heater, he might go back and want to do. Jared Hess directed those two. He might want to go back and do it again. I don't know. I guess if the money's right. We'll go through these quick because it's one and it's the sequel, and I really enjoyed them. I was going to say I'm a closeted Nicolas Cage fan because everybody seems to really rat on him, but I do like his work. I've always liked his work, even in his bad movies. Even when he's not really trying, I enjoy watching the guy. So. National Treasure came out, and it was one of those big action-adventure summer blockbusters that I really enjoyed. It isn't as mindless as like Transformers. You can leave your brain at the door and just watch the spectacle. It was more of a thinking man's action thing, although there was much to think about. But it had some fun moments. And then when the second one came out, I got part 2. National Treasure. Man, I remember back in the day, here's Old Rogers. When sequels, I'm trying to think, sequels didn't always have a number after them. Usually what the smart sequels would do I'm thinking back like in the 60s. You had something like Dr. Goldfoot in the Bikini Machine. Vincent Price B-movie. And then you had Dr. Goldfoot and the Girl Bombs, I think was the second one. It wasn't Dr. Goldfoot and the Bikini Machine 2. You know, it was. It was. I don't know when that started. It must have been in the '80s when franchises became a thing. Because even Star Wars was Star Wars when it came out, and then when Empire came out, it was Empire Strikes Back, and then Lucas put the the Roman numerals. But now everything is Roman numeral. Not on a Roman numeral, but just numeral. Everything is this 1, this 2, this 3, this 4. You know, all they need to do is a National Treasure Book of Secrets. That's it. You don't have to put 2. You know. I don't know. That's like a little tiny pet peeve I have that irks me. This is a Disney. These are the old Disney discs, loaded with lots of extra features on these. What do we have in here? Join the Disney Club, I guess. So there's a little bit of artwork on the inside with the chapter stops. Got a picture disc. The second one. Similar, very similar. You know, it's got a picture and the chapter stops and the disc, and more. Join the. Oh, it's a National Treasure Sweepstakes. Didn't join that. I missed out. Drat. But I enjoy them. Those are fun movies. They're nothing special. But every once in a while, I want to see. Well, there's so many Nick Cage movies, and there's so many bad Nick Cage movies, and there's some really good ones. There's some bad ones with some good performances. There's some pretty decent story idea movies that he's in that he's horrible in. But I like the guy. He didn't do nothing wrong to me. I got nothing against him. All right, man. This movie blew me the frack out of the theater when I saw it. I saw this in the theater. Let me show it off. Natural Born Killers. This is the, before everything starts falling out. Yeah, this is the digibook that, oh, there, it fell out. Right. Lots of falling out here. And then the disc, the yin yang. This is a important notice, which everybody gets, and this was the back thingy. Some of those I put in a drawer now, and back then I would just fold it and stick it in the book. But Natural Born Killers, and I might as well do this. Was it this year? I think this year it came out. I don't know what they call these. It's the same as my Interstellar is, and they did Gremlins, and they did a few other ones with these beautiful, nice, hard plastic, square, glossy cases. They have a little magnet that holds it, and it's loaded with beauty. I just love the art. I love the look. I love the feel of the thing, and it's cooler on my face than this was. Crazy Raj. Yeah, this movie, Mallory Knox. Oh man, there's so much to talk about this movie. I really will probably do at one time. I'll do a small video. Just going over this movie because there's so much I love about it. I really do love it. There are some people that hate it. They find it obnoxious, the changing film stock, the brutality, But I saw this thing in the theater, and my jaw was on the floor. Just the opening, and then the opening credits, and the scene with them driving. And then the mushrooms and the morphin face, and then all the actors, Tom Sizemore, and gosh, it was great. And this was the first movie that I saw Woody Harrelson in that was like, this ain't Woody from Cheers anymore. This is the Woody that I don't want to meet. And since then, he's become one of our greatest. I think he's one of our really greatest actors. I mean, just look at what he did with True Detective last year. Forget about this year. But Natural Born Killers, man, I love the thing. I love the musical score. All the music in there, the constant changing of the different styles of music, the different film stocks. I was brought up knowing all about film and grain and light. What am I trying to say? I went to film school, so you learned all about that. It was before all this digital stuff. and we actually had to cut film and splice and that. And then I see something like this, and the genius of him using all these different stocks and video, you know, for like the newscast things. People have a problem with Oliver Stone, and you know, he is what he is, but he's an artist, and as with a lot of artists, you don't have to like everything they do, you know. Anyway, let's go on. I'll talk more about that. We'll do an MBK little video sometime in the future. Excuse me, Belch and Raj. This is another one of those that I don't go to movies anymore. I just wait for the Blu-rays. It's a couple months, and then I'll pick them up. And if it looks really funny, like this trailer looked really good, I said, you know, I'll put that on my list, and when it comes down in price, I'll pick it up. And I did, and I was able to get it in the slipcover, which is cool, because when you wait for it to come down in price, you don't usually get the slipcover. But Neighbors, and it's not the John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd one. Where is that movie? I want that on Blu-ray, let alone DVD. It never came out on DVD for all I know. I love that movie, that quirky little Neighbors movie. That was that 79? I believe that was in the late 70s, because it was right around the beginning of SNL. If you haven't heard about Neighbors with John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd, seek it out. Try to find a copy somewhere, because it's a very dark, twisted, bizarre, hilarious movie. But we're talking about this piece of crap. Most of the best gags are in the trailer, and then you see them in the movie, and they're not as funny anymore. It almost ruins the surprise. And it's one of those obnoxious. It has moments. It has some funny moments. It really does. But it was very predictable to me. I knew the steps. I knew the beats they were going for and what was going to happen. And I believe they're doing a second one. So I think I'll watch that before I buy the second one. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't mind having it in my collection. It's media for me to watch when I'm looking for something to watch some night. I go, I'll throw this on and watch it again and see how long I can take to get to the end. But yeah, it comes with the slipcase. Let's see if it opens. Oh, here we go. Let's do an early one, folks. This is good for a while. I'm going to give the UV... Oh, I didn't show. It comes with the DVD and then the Blu-ray. For those of you, you know, this has been out, but you never know. There might be people out there that never seen Neighbors, and like Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen, clunky career, a lot of popular comedies, very famous for that. I like when he works with his stoner buddy. What is his name? 127 Hours. You know who I'm talking about. I can't think of his name. You know, they both came from Freaks and Geeks, and that was a brilliant television show. So I've been following their careers, and I do like. End of the World was just genius in my eyes. You know, but then stuff like this or the Green Hornet, it just doesn't work for me. Knocked Up, no. Anyway, so I'm going to give away the digital copy code here for Neighbors, the new. Well, it's not new. Last year, Seth Rogen film. So here we go. I'm going to put it up there. First come, first serve. Anybody get that? Let's let it focus. There we go. Okay. I'm not going to waste video time. You could still it and then copy. I'm so nuts. I am so nutty. So there you go. Your first catch of the day. Damn shirt creeping up. I don't know why. I think I mentioned back. Oh, I did. Yeah, when we were talking about Jackie Chan collection, that I'm a big Jackie Chan fan. And I didn't pick up that new one that just came out last week, the week before. I think it was last week. Because I'm going to wait, maybe rent it or get a copy. But I did pick up the new Police Story. I love his old stuff. I wish they would do a box set remastered with the original subtitles and the original language and the original music score, unedited, and do like a box set of all the Police Story movies. I I love those early ones. Oh, those early ones are just so great when he was able to do those fantastic stunts. Now they're very questionable with CGI and wiring. A lot of times due to contract negotiations, when Jackie comes and does a movie in America, they got to use wires or they got to use stuntmen or something. And you could tell that it's not him doing his stuff anymore. But he does every once in a while. There's a jump. There's something he does that it is him doing it. But very rarely when it's a very extreme. You notice you don't see many of the outtake credits at the end of his movies with him getting hurt, because that all happened when he was younger in his career. But this was an okay, cheapo eco. This was an okay flick. It fits in there with his movies. It was good to see him be serious again after the stuff like Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights and Rush Hour. It was good to see him to do a good serious actioner. Trying to play a very dramatic role. Weird. I don't know why. This I enjoyed. The sequels not so not so much. I really enjoyed Mickey Rooney, Dick Van Dyke, and sadly, I apologize, the elderly black gentleman, the three of them that end up... No, I'm not even going to spoil it in case you've never seen it. Although I'm sure if you have kids, you've seen this 1,000,000 times. Let's say it again, the monkey and the geese. I enjoyed it. I had a good time with this. I thought it was a great little idea for a movie. Night Watchman and the things in the museum coming alive. They just milked it too much with 2 and 3. 3, I didn't even see 3. But there's good people in here. Robin, Robin, not, just paycheck, But Night at the Museum, we're in the nights now. There's quite a few nights we're coming through. Saw this one at the theater, back when I was going to the theaters a lot in the 80s. For those young people out there, I actually was able, I feel glad to hear the praise of a lot of movies from the 80s now, with like Scream and Shout Factory, bringing them out with all the extras and cleaned up, and the praise they're getting now as being cult classics or classics in their own right. And I feel very glad seeing that and seeing the fans now. Because I am older, there are most of the people that I watch that talk about movies and things like that on YouTube are in their like 20s or 30s, maybe some in their 40s. There's a handful of elderly ones, Dean of DVD, and but I look back and I'm like, boy, I saw those in the show. I saw those movies when you were babies or not even born. I saw that movie in a movie theater, like Texas Chainsaw or Night of the Living Dead or Mark of the Devil, and something like Night of the Comet. I saw it in the theater and I had a blast watching it. I thought it was great. And then the VHS and the DVD and the Laserdisc. I think it came out on Laserdisc. Maybe not. I had, And with all these other movies like that they're coming out, like these that are in the 80s, I saw all those things, and they were great. They were great going to the theater and seeing it and having popcorn and being at that young age. Although in the 80s I was in my 30s, early 30s. So, but anyway, it was still cool. Wait a minute. 60s to 70. Yeah, I was in my 20s, 30s. But anyway, Night of the Comet. Everybody has it. Everybody who wants it has it. Knows about these with the reversible, covers. This is the cover, and I never changed it. Slip cover. Ain't got much to say about it. Everybody knows it. It's a fun flick. It looks great. Kelly Maroney. Oh, I had stuff for you. Oh my God. Anyway, the next one, another great one. I actually like this one more than Night of the Demons. Not Night of the Demons, Night of the Comet. That's Night of the Creeps. Thrill me. Tom Atkins, man. Hilarious. The movie is hilarious. It's and before Dead Alive or Brain Dead, the original title, Brain Dead. God, Peter Jackson, bring Brain Dead out uncut. not just trimmed. Anyway, this is the first killing by a lawnmower that I remember, and then that one just the ultimate gore fest. Thrill me. Night of the Creeps. Again, we all know it. We all love it. Us horror fans out here. I'll say the basics. If you haven't seen it, see it. If you haven't seen it, why haven't you seen it yet? How many Halloweens have you gone through and you haven't seen Night of the Creeps yet? Come on, man. And it's nicely cleaned up and has alternate ending on there. And, yeah, good stuff. Here's another night. This one actually I didn't see at the theater. And this one I didn't even see on VHS. I kind of passed because I did not like that cover art. There was something weird about it. It was like, that's just going to be a dumb movie. I didn't see this until it came out on DVD. And I just loved it. I was like, why haven't I watched this all those years? The music, the idea of it, the practical effects. Linnea Quigley. Night of the Demons. Just a fun flick. I don't care for the sequel. I did see the sequel, and I didn't care for it. But this one I loved. I really did. This is like a Halloween favorite. This is, Halloween night party, and you go and you watch it on a Halloween. Everybody knows who has it. This is DVD and Blu-ray, and then the reversible cover, which again I didn't change. What's the cover? Oh, this is the one. This is the original cover I saw in the video stores that I did not like. This, I saw that and I was like, that just looks dumb. That just looks stupid. I don't want to see that movie. If it looked like this, I might go, wow, look at what, I want to see what's going on there. And yeah, might as well switch it while I have it. Well, no, maybe I'll just put it back like I had it. But anyway, am I speaking loud enough? I don't know. I feel like I'm whispering. I'm whispering. Oh, it's a secret. Tell me a secret. Yeah, Night of the Creeps, man. Fun movie. Oh, Night of the Demons. I get all these nights mixed up. Anyway, the lipstick and the nipple. Great. Yeah. Those that have it, have it. Those that know it, have it. Watch it, love it. Needed for the collection. Now, this night movie is a Criterion film. Wow. It's a little banged up. How did this get... This must have came this way when I got it. The corners are pretty crappy on here. Night of the Hunter. Love, hate. God, Mitchum. Oh, Charles Lawton's directing is amazing in this thing. I love the shot of the car underwater with the woman and the hair and the... Oh, that's beautiful. And then it's just haunting. It's a haunting little movie. And this is the big Criterion. And if you look, the corners are kind of dinged. What the heck? A ding-a-ding. A ring-a-ding-a-ding in the bottom. I really think I got it that way originally. And just went, oh, it's too bad. And just put it up. But anyway, Criterion. Again, those that know this movie, love this movie. It's a fantastic film, and Criterion did a beautiful job on it. Comes with the old booklet. And, now that I'm thinking, I think I got this from eBay. I think this was one of my purchases, and it was really cheap, and this was a used copy. That's why it's dinged, because my stuff doesn't get dinged. I take pretty good care of it, and so I'm thinking, yeah, I think this was an eBay purchase at one point. Because Criterions rarely come down unless they have the half-off sale, either Barnes & Noble or Criterion. Excuse me. Brilliant film. I still haven't watched all the extras. I haven't listened to a commentary. Wow, there's even a clip on the Ed Sullivan Show where members perform a scene deleted from the film. Wow. Archival documentary. I really got to spend some time and sit down and watch it. Basically, when I got it, I watched the film because it was a number of years since I seen it. I only seen it before this. I only seen it on VHS. I never owned a copy after. So this Blu-ray was the next one to get. But yeah. I just noticed this. Oh yeah, it does say Blu-ray edition. I was gonna say it doesn't say Blu-ray anywhere. And people, I notice people say they talk about the number on the spine. This is 541. I don't know what that represents. I don't know if that means anything important to collectors, other than the number of Criterion movies that have come out, and that's like the order. So if someone knows, can they explain down below? Night of the Hunter. Wow. And this, I did not want to buy the big special edition of this movie. I love this movie. I'm so glad they remastered it and did a director's cut. And this is just the director's cut version. And there is one that comes with the theatrical cut, and I believe some other maybe booklets or extras. I have the original theatrical cut on DVD still that has a bunch of extras. I'm talking about Nightbreed. Boon! Yeah. I smell meat. I want meat. I love the Porcupine Woman character. I actually went to a Chiller Theater horror convention. I believe it was '99, and I got video of it. I'm gonna have to do like videos of those old Chiller Theater, because I used to go to conventions a lot and I filmed everything, and I got lots of celebrities signing autographs and waving to the camera. All David Hedison sticking his tongue out at me. Frank Gorshin making a goofy face as I was filming. Really cool stuff like that. I got to redo that and start posting some of those. When I get through it, defending my collection, which are like, this is like the massive video series I'm doing, I'll have plenty of time to do these little videos, and those will come out and abouts, purchases, pickups and things like that. Those will come down the line. Right now I just want to get rid of the thing, get through my collection. Yeah, Nightbreed, great movie. Clive Barker, Cronenberg played an amazing character in here. I love that mask, which you can buy now with the zipper. And I don't have anything else to say about this. It's just great. I can't praise it enough, and I'm going to stop. But those of you who have never seen Nightbreed, check out Nightbreed. It's really good. Did I open this? Yeah, I thought there might have been a digital copy in there. I would have given it away, since it's a director's cut. But anyway, moving on. Okay. And yeah, I'll put that out here because that's coming too. Freddy Krueger. I don't know, people go, how come this isn't in your A's? A Nightmare on Elm Street. It should be in the A's. Well, I'm sorry. When I think of Freddy, I go Nightmare on Elm Street. So I'm going to go to the ends. Nightmare. I know it's a nightmare, but there's a lot of nightmares in this series. Yeah, saw Freddy at the show. One day, I went alone, saw it, fell in love, went home, called my buddy Greg, I'll just say Greg, and said, you got to see this. And I went back the very next day with him and saw it, and he fell in love with it too. This is like one of those movies where there was a whole bunch of just like bland horror, and then all of a sudden, A Nightmare on Elm Street. It's like, what an ingenious idea for a story and for a character, and it was scary, and it was bloody and gory. Tina's death, moving around, and then the ceiling, and then the cuts just appearing. It was just the idea of a dream. That the very first time I saw it, I was freaked out and had chills when what's her name's in the dream clinic, and she wakes up and she pulls out the hat. That was like, holy crap. Yeah, the first time I saw it was just genius. I got the whole collection. I held off buying this until it came down to like $20, and then I picked it up. I figured for $20, I got all the movies, not uncut. That's why I was waiting. Especially, I think it was it Dream Warriors that was really cut, or the Dream Master? It was the one with the guy on the motorcycle, who the motorcycle starts going into his skin, and he becomes this metallic motorcycle. Again, I'm old, and there's so many movies I've seen, I don't know what nightmare sequence happened in what movie. I used to know all that stuff like that. Now it's like, I don't need to know that. Everybody else knows it. But that scene was heavily edited. And I remember when it came out on VHS, I had the uncut version, and I would always watch that. And I don't even think when it was on DVD, the uncut version was out. And I think there was slightly little cuts in some of the other films too. I'll have to do a spotlight on Nightmare on Elm Street movies and talk each and every one of them. I'm not going to do that now because it'll just make the video way too long. But I'll do a spotlight on the movies, and I'll go through each and every one and tell you my thoughts on them. I did this with Mel Brooks. In a nutshell, I love the first one. I really like the third one because Nancy comes back. I like the MC Escher-ness of, was it Dream Child? With the staircases and the little kid. Although I didn't understand what was going on with Freddy's arms, why one was long, one was little. I didn't understand that whole thing. Son of a Thousand Maniacs. And I love New Nightmare. Oh, that was a great idea. Wes Craven took this series and made it spin on its head and made it self-awareness. And it was just great. A great idea. And to bring, Robert Englund and all the producers and Wes in there, and you know it. You know the movies. Nightmare on Elm Street collection. Got it for a real good price. I never opened it. Let me open it for you guys. It just comes in a big, thick disc. And it's, it's basically each disc separate. Not all of them. There's like a couple on each. But as a collection, it's like you got to get them. I really wish an uncut version would come out. That's why I haven't bought the Friday the 13th box set yet. I have a few favorites, and I'll pick up 6 because 6 is one of my favorites. At one point, I'll pick up 6. But I haven't bought that big box set that has all of them because the footage is out there. I've been to the Fangoria conventions where they've showed the footage that was edited from those Freddy movies, or those Jason movies, and just clean them up and put them in there. Come on, or make them as deleted scenes as an extra. They don't even do that, and that's why I haven't bought that set. But I did buy that set, and then I picked up Never Sleep Again, which is that huge documentary with all kind of little extras added on there of the making of the entire saga of Freddy Krueger. Do not have the remake. I thought Jackie Earle Haley did a fantastic job. I thought he was a great Freddy Krueger. I had no complaints at all about him in the film. His little sayings. What was the thing about the nightmares I'll slice off? Oh, he had a great line there where the guy was hanging upside down. I was like, that's the perfect line of the movie. That's one of the best lines. But I just didn't like the movie itself. I didn't like the look of it. It wasn't. I don't know why I didn't like it. It just rubbed me the wrong way. And I hear they're remaking it again. I hear there's plans to reboot it again with another Freddy Krueger story. All right, we're going to go through these. Again, probably fast because as I'm going through these collections and I'm coming up with things and memories to say about these movies, I do realize, especially with series of movies like this, I'm going to do special insights into the series of movies, in later videos. So I'll do a Nightmare on Elm Street. I'll probably do a Freddy. I'll do, and I'll do a George Romero Zombie full video where I go through each and every one of his movies and just praise the hell out of them, except for those last few. But N stands for Night of the Living Dead. Night of the Living Dead. Dun, dun, dun. I love that little trailer. The dead walk. And then that bad screen. Night of the Living Dead. This is a version. This isn't really out anywhere on Blu-ray. Well, yes it is, because I got one. It's out all over on Blu-ray, because I believe it's still kind of public domain. But I did, when I was like in the mood, I had all the Romero movies except for this. It's like, I gotta get Night of the Living Dead on Blu-ray. I don't have Savini's. I missed out on Twilight Times. I'd love to have that. I hope they could redo it again. Or another company like Scream, Shout Factory does the Night of the Living Dead remake. Because I love that movie. I do love that movie. Even though Savini hates the score in it, I love the score. I could talk about that later. But anyway, this movie I did talk about the first time I saw it in a porno theater along with Mark of the Devil. Go look at my M movies, or if you have, you already know the story. I'm not going to go into it again. I might go into it again when I do my little spotlight on Romero, but or on the Dead films. But looking around, I looked around. There, different countries have different versions of this. Some of them are cropped in a little closer than they should be. Some are matted, some have editing issues, some have like a second or three missing off of one scene, probably due to print damage that they trimmed it. But from what I read and from what all my research was, this was the one I decided to get, and I got it and I watched it and I was very happy with it. I thought it was great. Picture-wise, quality-wise, for it, what the movie is, you know, from 1968, old 16 millimeter film. I believe it was 16. It looks beautiful to me. It really does. Here's the inside, and I believe I got this from. I believe this is a UK edition. Artfire Films. It's got the George Romero documentary on here. But I say it's more than likely it's from England because it has the rating circles down there. Again, you know, I've had these movies for a while. I've been collecting Blu-rays, and a lot of times when I get imports, I don't remember where I got them. I was just thinking about when I'm going to do the R's, and I talk about REC, R-E-C, those movies. I got a box set that I don't remember where I got it. If I got it from Spain, if I got it from England, I don't remember. But anyway, we'll talk about REC when we get to REC. Night of the Living Dead. Dun-dun-dun-dun, of the Living Dead. And then they brought out Dawn of the Dead. Gotta get Dawn of the Dead. God, I got stories about this. I saw this at the theater so many times. Went to so many midnight showings of this where it's a party atmosphere and everybody's high and drunk and watching this. It was just great. But the first time, saw this in the theater, went out, go to the bathroom. I was in college at the time. I saw some college friends coming in. Oh, this is a great movie. You got to see it. I ended up staying with them, watching it. I saw it 3 times in one afternoon. Because when I left, and more friends were coming in, I was like, I got to see it again. Never had an experience like that watching this thing when it came out. Especially how much I loved Night. I had the 16 millimeter print of Night. I used to have I didn't have block parties. My neighborhood would have block parties. I would bring my 16 millimeter camera out and an old sheet. We'd hang it out, and I'd show Night of the Living Dead in the front of someone's house. You know, now they do that. Now they have projections, and you can watch movies in your backyard now. But I was doing that back like in the 70s and the 80s. Not in the 80s, in the 70s. But anyway, because I had the 16 millimeter print of that thing. This, you know, simple. You've seen it. You've got it, no doubt. This is the this is the Anchor Bay version. And it's got quite a few extras on here. It doesn't have, or does it? No, it doesn't have Document of the Dead on here. And then Arrow released these. I don't think they released Dawn on Blu-ray, Arrow. They did Day, and I wish I had the Day set. I don't have the Day set. I do have Day of this one that came out, which was the Anchor Bay. And I was happy with it. Yeah, I was happy with it. And then they redid it again, and I got this one. Yeah, with more extras and cleaned up better. And I got this one sheet somewhere. I got the Dawn of the Dead one sheet. I got the Night of the Living Dead one sheet, and that's signed by Romero and Judith and Harry and the wife. I got everybody's autograph on that, on the original Night of the I'm going to slow down, Roger. I got everybody's autograph from Night of the Living Dead on there, except for the young couple that blow up in the car and the news guys, Chili, Willie, Billy, whatever, Cardelli. I don't have them. I just have the main act. Oh, and I don't have Dwayne Jones. No, because he passed. Dawn, I got autographed by Ken Foree, and I don't have Romero. I got 2 posters from Romero autographed when I met him. One was Night of the Living Dead. One was Night Riders, because I love Night Riders. Oh, I love that movie. But I didn't have him sign Dawn. He was pretty expensive when he was signing, and I 2 is enough. I think it was $50 each, so I spent $100 on his autographs. Autographs are high now, man. Back in the day, I used to go to conventions, and some people wouldn't even charge. They go, oh yeah, here, thank you for being a fan. Now it's 20, 30. You can't film them. You can't take a picture of them sitting there, or else you have to pay for it. It's ridiculous how autograph hunting is now, and I don't do it that often anymore. But I got that poster signed. I don't have Day of the Dead. My buddy has Day of the Dead, basically signed by everybody from the movie. Yeah, even Nicotero, who was there at the last Horror Hound convention we went to. I mean, the pilot, the black guy, Rhodes. Oh, he doesn't have Dr. Frankenstein. He doesn't have his autograph. But he's got Romero on there. He's got all the... That was Horror Hound where I saw Romero. Dawn, and then Day. Day is just great. I can't talk about him now. I'll talk about him in my my zombie retrospect video I'll do in the future. But Day was another one. I saw this with a double feature. I laugh because I'll tell you why I'm laughing. With Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. I saw both of them. Double bill at the theater. I went with my ex-wife. My first ex-wife, we won't get into that. But she hated him because she was so squeamish about gore, and I'm taking her to Day of the Dead, which I didn't see. Well, I didn't see either one of them, so it was the first time watching. To me, and some friends that because we double dated, we loved the movies. Even my friend's date loved the movie. My ex did not like it, and I was so happy about it, because I was like, we saw 2 great movies, Texas Chainsaw 2 and this. Although when Texas Chainsaw 2 came out, not many people liked it. I think this one too, not many people liked it. It wasn't a Dawn of the Dead, and it wasn't Romero's original script because he couldn't get the financings. So people didn't like this, and it was just these characters underground, and the zombies look weird, and the gore was great, but it was just like, nobody liked it. Now, it's a classic. It's a frickin' classic. Land of the Dead. After many years, Romero came back and did Land of the Dead. Has moments that I really like, has moments that I'm like, didn't work, doesn't work. Dennis Hopper in his Romero zombie flick, he didn't work for me. I don't know. This is the one where things started going downhill with Romero. Although I didn't like, I liked Monkey Shines. I liked his, not so much, but I liked his little take in Two Evil Eyes. Two Evil Eyes, that short he did. He had a lot of Day of the Dead people in that short. I like the Argento, the Black Cat one better than the Romero one in that movie. But I started noticing, and what's the one where with the faceless man getting revenge? Has just one name. I can't think of that movie. That I watched that. I was like, Romero, go back and do a zombie, and then he did the zombie, and it was like, and then he did another zombie, and although I kind of like his style, and I like his take on, okay, found footage movies are starting to be the big thing. I'm going to do it that route, and I liked it. I thought it was good. Actually, the only thing I really like about this, I'll sit through it, I'll watch it when I do a marathon. It's like, okay, let's do the zombie movies, I'll watch them. The only thing I really appreciate, even though it's an effects shot, is the final shot of the two, the Hatfield and the McCoy, as we will say, on the hill as zombies, and the giant sun, or is it a moon? Again, I don't know if it was a sun or a moon. It's been that long since I've seen it. Somebody give George some money. Somebody, I'm sure he could still do it. He's just limited by budget. Somebody, let him direct some Walking Dead episodes. Come on, let him. He's the godfather of zombies, man. I mean, he's got no respect from Hollywood. And then when he's gone, people are going to say, oh, he was such a great, he created the zombies, the flesh-eating, eat your brain, not to eat the brains, but, you know, the flesh-eating thing. Why didn't they let him do more? Why did he do such these poor Because the frickin' Hollywood won't give him any money. Let him do something, man. Do something good. When I heard about this, I was against it. I'm one of those guys that are kind of against remakes. And when you're talking about remaking a classic, in my opinion, in most of the eyes of most of the fans, if not all, it's like, don't touch those. Those are grails. Those, don't touch those. Unfortunately, Hollywood decides to remake all the good movies and not the crap that they could fix. The crap movies that have decent storylines where they went array a little bit at the end and screwed up the movie, or the acting was bad, or the effects were bad, or remake those and make those better. Don't remake a classic. I liked it. I thought this was frickin' great. They didn't need to call it Dawn of the Dead. This is the remake, by the way, by Zack Snyder. They didn't need to call it Dawn of the Dead. Even though it was in a mall, it could have been its own standalone thing. But they cashed in on the name, Dawn of the Dead. Excuse me. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I really thought it was a cool little flick. The opening is just brilliant. The beginning of the chaos, you know, and all the neighborhood going crazy, and the mall stuff didn't bug me, and the characters were really kind of cool. The stuff with the pregnant girl and the baby was kind of, and then I love the end with the giant, what do they call it? Something Judgment, or the big vehicle they create, and the massive amount of extras they had for zombie. Could have been CGI. Boy, yeah, bright. That whole ending was great, and then the bleakness of the ending, and then during the end credits you see the little video of the head in the thing, and it's great. You know, when people, just a simple ad, when people talk about, you know, when they make remakes of these horror movies, what are the better remakes? What are the good remakes of these movies? Because most remakes suck. Well, there's The Fly, there's 82's The Blob, there's Dawn of the Dead. Like I said, there's only maybe a handful of really good remakes. But anyway, let's move on. We're out of the zombie Romero territory. Well, we're not out of the zombie territory. Do that again into the camera. This is very recent, and I had to pick it up. Back in the... Actually, I believe it was like 2010. Around 2010... I really started getting hooked on B movies. That's when I started listening to the B Movie podcast. And they were, you know, they would talk mainly about like old B movies. Like I Was a Teenage Werewolf, or Frankenstein, or Invaders from Mars. You know, these little movies that and then they would throw class. And now go to the website, folks. Go to B Movie Cast if you've never, and just listen to some of the shows. Vince and the gang. They're great shows. Shameless plug. They're great shows, and every week they pick older movies or newer movies, or a lot of foreign films, Mexican horror, all kind of films. And it's a great podcast. It's very easy to listen to, and relaxing, and very informative. And there's great feedback. A lot of calls, people call in, and that stuff's real interesting because you learn about other little things or television shows or movies you might not have heard of. Anyway, enough of that. So back in 2010, I started watching a lot of B movies, and I would, every Friday night when I would come home from work, was it Friday night? Yeah, because I wasn't working overnights back then. I'm working on Friday overnights now. But I would watch a B movie. I'd make a big bowl of popcorn. I'd have some beer, and I'd sit there and throw in, you know, Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, probably around Christmas time, or The Beginning of the End with the giant grasshoppers and stuff. And then there was there was some more modern stuff. There was stuff like from the 60s and the 70s, and I started watching a lot of the Italian horror. Although I knew of Fulci and I've seen those, and those were classic. Those weren't the beam ones I was looking at, but I was looking for the cereal on the face zombies. You know, where they just like took cereal and put it, and they were kind of like Fulci. Although Fulci was doing some good stuff, and I came across Nightmare City, and I was like, "Damn, this is a great film." You got this plane landing and these zombies running around with weapons, and they can fight, and they're killing people, and they're not only eating people, but they're... And it was the first time I saw a scene in a zombie film where somebody jumps into a swimming pool to get away from the zombies, and the zombies are getting in their... It's like pool tag, get away from me. It was cool. And then the downbeat ending of this, which I won't get into, the falling and that, and then it again, I don't want to give away if you've never seen Nightmare City, but the whole, I'll just do that, and those who know the movie know what I'm talking about. It's cool. It's cool. So when I heard this was coming out, I jumped on it, bought it full price, got it, got the slipcover. Cool cover art there. Odd cover art. But Umberto Len, not so cheapo eco, but still eco. Comes with a cool book. Yeah, I enjoyed this movie. When I got this, I actually waited till it was like I work like a second shift on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I get home around 10, and around 11 o'clock I'm settled in after reading emails and internet stuff and that. Then I go sit down and I usually watch a movie or catch up with some TV shows. And when I got this, it was like, yep, cook up that popcorn and get the beers out, and we're going to watch it. And I had a great time. People are like, yeah, the transfer is, you know, I don't care. I don't care. The crappier it looks, the better, because it reminds me of those old Grindhouse movies, which it was. And you know, I said that about Cannibal Holocaust, I think, when I was talking in the Seas about how it was almost very weird watching that movie on Blu-ray because it looked too clean. It should have looked grimy, like I remember watching it on DVD, the not so great print. And it's almost like they cleaned it. It was too clean. It just looked odd. So I don't mind, especially older movies. I mean, if they can clean it up and make it good, good. But if it's a movie that had that charm of having those imperfections and scratchiness and blurriness, or real change edits, that was fun. That was fun. I mean, to me, when I watched movies growing up, you always saw those cigarette burns, which in Fight Club they said those little circles to change the reel, and they're not called cigarette burns, but there were scratchy films, and sometimes the reel didn't start right away, and you had a blank spot. It was all natural when you went to the movies back, like in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. Not so much in the 80s. And then now digital, and everything's here, and everything has to be perfect and clean, and no scratches and no hairs, and that's great. But some of the movies, there's that charm, that deterioration of the film, the quality. It helps the film. Okay, I spoke way too much, and we didn't even get to the O's yet. Oh, wow. Hour. Okay. Gulp. Take a couple breaths. The mind is going faster than the mouth can bring out. I'm very glad this came out. I'm glad it came out very cheap. It has, I think it has most of the extras that were on the DVD that I had. Saw this in the theater. Had a buddy who worked at the Marina Towers movie theater. Martin, my buddy Marty. He worked at the Marina Towers at the movie theater there. And after college one time, after I went over there, and he got me in to see The Jerk, Steve Martin's The Jerk. And on the same day, we also saw 1941. And while we laughed hysterically at The Jerk, we didn't laugh too much at this. I remember him especially saying, Steven, you didn't spend any money on the end credits. It's just black sky with explosions. It's like, is that all you can come up with? But years and years go on, and I had this on VHS, and I had it on DVD, and I wore it out, and I grew to love this thing. Kind of like Blues Brothers. I really grew to love it. And now it's not up there with Great Race and Mad Mad World, and although it's very similar to that style of comedies from back in the day, and that's what I love about it now, is it's just this is the director's, the long version, extended version. I always watch the extended version of this. But this is one of those huge movies that seem way too long for what they should be, loaded with all these character actors and comics, and what maybe didn't work for me when I first saw it in the theater works for me now brilliantly. I love this movie. This is in there, one of my top... I hate making lists, but I'm going to say maybe in my top 50, definitely. I was going to say top 20, but no, maybe I got too many movies I like. So I would say that this is definitely in my top 50 movie favorites. And I love it. And you've seen it all. 1941. If you haven't seen it, seen it. This is another one of those where I heard some good stuff about. I was reading, I said, oh, everybody's like, you got to get this, you got to get this. And I did, and I got the slipcover. And I bought it full price at Best Buy. The price tag shows it $24. Ninja Assassin. Yeah, it's not great. It's got some really cool action set pieces, some pretty good gore. But story-wise, it's like, okay. It felt to me like a throwback to those movies from the 70s or early 80s where they were the martial art action films. It just felt like that. I actually only saw it twice since I've had this on Blu. Wow, it's got a digital copy. And I wonder how good it is. Offer expires March of 2011. So no, this ain't no good anymore. So a digital copy of that. Comes with a DVD and Blu-ray. But I only saw this like twice since I got it. And I haven't really revisited it. I probably will again someday. When I'm looking for something different to watch. I go, I haven't seen that in a while, I'll watch that. But I remember kind of liking it a lot. But it was mediocre. It was, repeat viewing's not necessary. Ninja Assassin. Coen Brothers, what can you say? Classic directors. These guys. Oh, belching. These guys make some fantastic work. I remember when this came out, and the people where I worked would come back from the theater, because where I work, there's a theater attached to the building, and people would go by me, hey, going to the movies, and then they come back and they give me yay or nay. And you'd be surprised how many people did not like this movie. No Country for Old Men. But then when I went and saw it, I thought it was great. I really thought, oh, Coen's, man, this is great. This is great. I can't even think. Chertog, right? How do you say his name? Do they say his name on the back here? Chertog. They don't. So, you know who I'm trying to think of. Yeah, great. Is he death? Is he death? I mean, look at the car wreck, broken arm, walking down the street, kids. Some people don't see him. It was great movie. People didn't like the ending. That end scene with Tommy Lee, in his little cabin there, going, well, that's life. I thought it was great. I really like it. This is one of my favorite Coen Brother films. It's got a little picture there with some of the chapter stops. Yeah, it's got a picture. I'm not going to show you the thing.
I'm not going to show it to you young kids. Just go out there and buy it, damn it.
I think there's another version of this that came out. There might even been various versions, maybe a steelbook, I don't know. But this is the first one that I got, and I picked it up, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I'm not a big, got to get the one with all the extras type of thing. But No Country for Old Men. Now we're talking about a movie that I absolutely love. Definitely one of my favorite Alfred Hitchcock movies of all time. I watch it just about every year. I love the soundtrack, Bernard Herrmann. I love all the actors in here. I love the epicness of it, how it spans different states, and it just goes on and on and on and on. North by Northwest. Dun, 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 dun. Favorite shot when he goes to the UN and he runs out of the UN, and it's that overhead shot looking down at him, looking down at from like the top of the UN building, looking at the courtyard, and you see the little Roger Thornhill running. He just running to this guy. It's just great. I love that shot. This is the digibook, a beautiful digibook that came out. There's the disc. That's the thing from the back. Made on the year I was born, 1959. Also with Ben-Hur. Great year for movies. Look up 1959 and check out all the movies that came out in '59. Man, there's some great movies. And it was me. Crazy Roger was born. God, what else can I say about this? Martin Landau. Martin Landau and Mason, they're kind of like, buddy, because there's the jealousy, isn't there, a bit at the end there? Yeah. Hitchcock, great. Oh, got 3 more to go, and they're all great. They're all classics in my eyes. This I seen probably as a teenager on a public television channel. I mentioned this when I was talking about other silent movies. Public television back in the 70s used to run a show. I don't remember the name. I think it was called The Toy That Grew Up. And I believe they were talking about film. And they would show a lot of silent movies. I saw, Hunchback, Phantom of the Opera, Metropolis, the original Wizard of Oz with Oliver Hardy. And I saw Nosferatu, the original Max Schreck, Murnau. And this is the Kino. This is Kino. They're fantastic with their silent movies. They have different versions on here, different music scores, and a bunch of extras. And it's got a fantastic documentary on the making of this. I can't say enough. I'm not going to say much. Everybody who knows this movie and knows why it's so great. Some of the imagery is hauntingly beautiful. And it's just such a unique look, character. The long nails and the rat teeth and the bald with the pointy ears and the long coat. It's an odd coat, like an old Undertaker coat. Yeah, just great. And I talk about remakes. I don't have to. Max, holy crap. I just drew a blank on his Klaus Kinski. Why did I call him Max? Klaus Kinski, man. His take on this guy, the moaning, must sign the forms. It got me, man. This not only from the opening credits. I saw this at the theater. From the opening, I got the one sheet back there. From the opening credits, where you're seeing the mummified remains of children and bodies. Most of them were children in that opening credits, with the skin and the music. I'm not gonna, I had the soundtrack to this. It was one of my favorite soundtracks that I would listen to over and over again in my basement. The music was just so haunting. I think it was a Polish composer. Do they even... German language, English subtitles, English language version, audio commentary, vintage. No, then they don't say... Go online and look at who did the music for the Klaus Kinski Nosferatu, the Werner Herzog. Yeah, visually beautiful. They really do a beautiful job in recomposing a lot of the classic Nosferatu shots, the famous shots, and they recompose them really well. The scene with the rats, with the ship coming to the port, to the town, and all the white rats, and then you see that a lot of them were white and they were painted, and some of them died, and I couldn't do that today, but so many great visuals in this thing. The barren shoreline with Lucy and the conversations walking along the shoreline, and it just looks cold and damp, and the whole movie has this dread over it, and the music helps so much with it. It's just haunting, and again, Kinski's performance, not only with the makeup, and in color, seeing the blueness and the weird and the shadow. I'm just gushing all little things here, but his performance is what really got me. I mean, yeah, the what's the word? The atmosphere in this thing is just gets you. It's like watching a nightmare, like a visual nightmare. Dreamlike, slow, very slow, purposely slow scenes, static shots that seem to go on forever. But to me, I can just watch that and stare at it, and I'm not bored. I just love everything about this remake. I'm not even going to call it a remake, but it is. But again, Kinski. The things he did with his voice just gave me chills. If you haven't seen this version of Nosferatu, definitely get it. And then there's a cool movie which is not on Blu-ray called Shadow of the Vampire, which, Streets of Fire. Willem Dafoe did the vampire, and it's a funny take on the making of his Murnaro's movie. Why isn't that on Blu-ray? That's such a fun movie, Shadow of the Vampire. Okay, this. I got quite a few of his movies on DVD. Because there was a time there, I think it was a good 5, maybe 6 years ago, they came out with, I believe it was a box set of maybe 6 or 7 of Jerry Lewis's films. Yeah, and we're talking The Nutty Professor. And I got all of them on DVD. I adore Jerry Lewis. I grew up watching his comedies, his single comedies, and his Dean Martin pairings. It wasn't until I was in my 30s and 40s that I started watching that they actually started airing on certain television. I think it was Channel 11. They aired a lot of the live television shows, the Martin and Lewis television show they did that was live. And that I wish would come out. It might be out on DVD, but that was brilliant to watch. But Jerry Lewis, I'm like the people in France. I think he was great. A lot of people don't. A lot of people think he was the over-the-top Jim Carrey of from back then. But and in his commentaries, he calls that character of him the Kid. He refers to him as another person, and those commentaries are so great on those DVDs. Cinderfella, he does a great commentary. There's The Ladies' Man. Was it The Ladies' Man? Is it The Ladies' Man? I think, where he's in the house with all the women, and he built that extravagant, huge set that's like half of a house, where all the different rooms, and people can go walk the stairs and come around, and he was able to bring the camera in and direct the camera and move it from each room to each room. And he created the video assist system, so he could watch what he just shot instantaneously. The guy was a genius. He still is. He's still alive. Although he's had some issues. And, he's got issues with the muscular dystrophy, the marathons he used to do. And those were a big staple in my life growing up because it was every year. You looked forward to it. And you sat there for how many hours, days it was. And you watched all those acts and those boring, we got a phone call with this bit. And, But anyway, it was Jerry Lewis. And other than the Disorderly Orderly, which I remember seeing at a drive-in with my parents, probably just my mom, and my brother, which I loved that movie. I got it on DVD. I whenever I'm down, I'll throw in the Disorderly Orderly, and the Disorderly Orderly. I watch that and it just puts a smile on my face. Same thing with Jungle Book. Whenever I'm down, I can put Jungle Book on, and I'm instantly in a good mood. Nutty Professor, Candy Clark. It's Candy Clark, is it? Oh, Stella Stevens. Candy Clark. I'm thinking of American Graffiti. Stella Stevens. Back in the day. Yeah. I was a little kid, and, crushes. And what's that? This is a genius of a film. Say what you will. It's Jerry Lewis, goofy, nutty professor. And what'll it be? And then the Jekyll and Hyde. But it's a dark movie. You can look past the comic, the goofiness of.
Actually, I really do believe that this experiment will work.
It's dark. It gets very dark with Buddy Love. Oh, and the art direction, the cinematography, the colors, the use. It's like watching a Bava film. When he goes into the club, all the different shadows and the colors. This movie pops on Blu-ray. This is beautiful on Blu-ray. The crispness, the colors, and then just the movie itself. It's great. That's it. Nutty Professor. I had on DVD the Eddie Murphy remake. I had both of them because the reason I liked the second one was basically that scene where they go into I don't remember what they even called it. It was like an all-you-can-eat place, and he plays all the characters, and they're all around the table, and they're throwing food and all that. I don't have them. I don't need to see those movies again. They were fun for their time when Eddie Murphy was up there doing some good stuff, really getting into the family film area before Dr. Dolittle, I believe, and those other ones that are not too good. But I don't need to see those movies again. I got my Jerry Lewis, man. This version of Nutty Professor, and no doubt it'll probably be remade again in the future. But this is the version I prefer. In the same way I prefer and love the Matt Helm movies, because that was an era, the late 60s, when I was growing up and starting to really notice things when I was like 8 and 9 years old, taking note of, boy, everybody smoked back then. There were ashtrays everywhere. Everybody was smoking, and gosh, it was unbelievable. But I remember growing up in that era, in that time, with those music, that jazzy music, and that's why I love those movies so much, the Matt Helm and the early Jerry Lewis, the 60s, and probably the same reason I love certain television shows from that era. I don't know. Anyway, guys, that was the ends. The ends are over. And we're an hour 20. Let's get going on these. Not as big as that stack, so. As a 3D fan, I really wish this was a 3D movie. Again, it would, just like with Into the Storm and another one, I thought this was 3D when it was at theaters, but I was mistaken. But I really do think this would benefit from the visual depthness of the thing. It's not a bad movie. It's not a great movie. Oblivion. With Slip. I really kind of like it up until the point of Morgan Freeman, and then the ending is just... By that time, you're halfway through, and you're like, okay, I got to watch the rest of the movie. And it's okay. It's, you know, it's not that bad. Is this expired? I know this has been out a while. My thing still on? No, my computer's off. It's getting dark in here. This, and this, and this, and this. And I'm looking for an expiration, and I don't see one on here. They usually do. Anyway, guys, I'm going to give Oblivion away. There's the UV code. Let it focus. And we're off. Hopefully that's not expired. Get back in focus. And no, I ain't got much to say about this film. I'm kind of glad I got it in my collection, because every once in a while I want to see something spacey, sci-fi. But since Live, Die, Repeat, since that movie came out, what is it? It's Edge of Tomorrow, which sounds like a soap opera. Since that came out, usually I'll go to that and watch that instead of this, because that is in 3D and it's such a better movie. So much of a better movie. Sci-fi Groundhog Day, basically. Yeah, I don't watch this one too much, but I don't mind having it in the collection. I didn't pay full price for it, so I don't mind. This one I paid full price for, and it had to have been on sale, because I did not pay $30 for this. Imagine Taxi Driver, but with a security guard take. Observe and Report, one of the darkest comedies to ever come out. Who directed this? Jody Hill. Don't know Jody Hill. Written and directed. Got to look on IMDb to see what other stuff he or she did. Don't know what Jody. Yeah, I didn't pay $30. I couldn't have paid $30 for this. I don't pay $30 for movies, unless it's like an import 3D movie or something that I really want in my collection. I usually wait for these to come down. But I do remember buying this. It wasn't the first day. No, it wasn't when it came out, because I had gotten a copy and watched it, and then I liked it, and I said, I got to buy it, and I ended up buying it. Comes with a slipcover. This is great. Seth Rogen, all these guys in here, but Seth Rogen and oh my God, my mind. I'm sorry. I'm belching so much. Come on, who is he? Who is it? Ray Liotta is great in this. Yeah, this gets very dark. This has a very shocking ending. In a number of ways. But I really liked his take. I really liked this movie. It's very dark. It's just what I said. It's like a security guard taxi driver movie. If you haven't seen it and thought it was just going to be a dumb Paul Blart Mall Cop, it isn't. It isn't. And I don't have that movie in my piece. Thank you very much. This is not. Don't confuse this with that. I think these both came out around the same year. This is the one that you want to see. This is the one you possibly want to own. No offense to those who have Mall Cop Paul Blart. If you like it, it's just like in my early videos. You like it, I like it, I like it, you like it. No need to fight. If you like it and it's in your collection, watch it. I'm happy for you. But if you're like me, this is the one you really are going to like. Expires September 22nd, 2010. So I can't give you this UV. DVD, Blu-ray. Yeah. Observe and Report. Observe and Report. Remember that name. Put it on your queue. Order it. I'm sure you can get it real cheap. You might not get the slipcover, but I'm sure you can get this very, very cheap now. But it's a funny-ass flick. But very dark. We're talking about the Nutty Professor classics, movies from the 60s. And this is one that you just had to get in the collection. Great score, great music. Tomatoes. That's the name of that song, folks. Speechless. If you haven't seen this original classic, both of them amazing. Just about all the character actors in here are amazing. Classic film. I was in the play. It was. I got none to say. I actually have more to say about the television show, which I really like. Even though there were different people in those roles, I grew to love Jack Klugman and Tony Randall. God, both of them are gone. That's such a shame. But I love that TV show. That was a funny ass TV show. But this movie, yeah, this is comfort food for me. This is I'm sick one afternoon. Just want to lay on the couch. I'll put this on, And yeah, enough said. Let's move on. These will go fast, and that cuts the thing right in half because these are big boxes. Television show. I believe this is the first Blu-ray TV show I ever bought. Or I should say the first television show I bought on the Blu-ray format. And then others followed along the way. But sadly, season 1 through 4 is not on Blu-ray. Talking about The Office. I got The Office. Got season 5. Got season 6. Got season 7. These are the big, heavy things. Got season 8, which seems massive. Massive! And the final season 9. Loaded with extras. These TV Blu-ray sets were done right. They are hours and hours of footage and webisodes they did, which I was not aware of. Commentary tracks. Extras, and they're beautiful sets. They all have slip covers, and they all open up, very, like so. Oh, that's a retrospective, and really nice sets. They rerun the show quite a bit, and those first 4 seasons were shot in HD. They are in HD. When I see those episodes on television, they're in HD. They're 1080p. Well, 720. So why didn't they bring them out on Blu-ray? I'm still waiting. I would have thought when the show ended they were going to do a big Office box set on Blu-ray, and they didn't. I believe there's a DVD box set out. But on Blu-ray, no. They only released, season 5 through 9, and that was it. And I'm still waiting. I really would love to have the entire series on Blu-ray. And what I do have is I was able to Mrs. Torrance the first 4 seasons, the episodes in 720p. And I was able to download them and burn them all on DVD-Rs. And whenever I do watch those earlier seasons, I'll play those discs because those discs are 720 on my television, and they look so much better than the DVDs, even with an upgrade. They just look better. I do that with quite a few television shows now that haven't been given the Blu-ray treatment. It's just me. I want, if the quality is there, I want to see the quality. Todd in the Book of Pure Evil, a show you probably never even heard of, which I love, was shot in HD, was broadcast in HD. You can only get the DVDs. The Neighbors. I'm rewatching that show now. I love Multi-River. I love that show. DVD, there's quite a few television shows, and now with the advent of streaming, I don't think the Blu-ray companies are even thinking about going back and putting things on Blu-ray. Although the 70s show, I believe it's Mill Creek, is finally releasing the entire That 70s Show television show remastered on Blu-ray for like $130, something like that. I'm sure it'll come down. I'll probably pick it up on Black Friday or when it comes down in the holidays. But I love that show too, and they released the first 2 seasons, which I have, and then they like stopped for years, and now they finally announced they're going to do the full series. So I'm going to have to give away the, you know. And since we're in the Office area, I'm not going to talk much about this because everybody probably has it, everybody saw it, everybody loves it. Office Space. This is the version I got, no slipcover. I believe there was a slipcover that came out in another pressing, but it was the same disc basically. Just an alarm thing. But yeah, not going to say much about this because we're already hour 30. And let's move on. Great movie. Funny movie. I just bought this year, a couple months ago, because it came down way low in price. I think I might have paid $15 for this. And unfortunately, it came kind of damaged, but from what I understand, that's most people's are like this, because it's kind of shoddy. It's the Omen collection. Wow, I saw the Omen in the theater the first time. Loved the music, bought the soundtrack, used to listen to Alpha Santani. Which on the album, I remember the soundtrack, it had Ava Santani, and then underneath it said A Black Mass. And I was like, wow, is this music from A Black Mass that were they used in the movie? No, it was Jerry Goldsmith, I believe. But anyway, loved the soundtrack. And then I loved the Omen 2 soundtrack even more, because they really went, they added that, and then they added more. Wow, it was a great soundtrack. I love that soundtrack. Omen 3, not so much. My problem with Omen 3, I have no problem with Omen 3. The only issue I have is the ending. I understood he was supposed to be killed with all the knives, not just one. And the girl, one, and that's it. And then you got all these biblical stuff on the screen at the end, quotes and sayings, and it's like, that's how this is going to end? But the first one is bygone, the classic. The first one, Doctor Who's in the first one. Patrick Troughton plays the priest with the thing. And David Warner and Gregory Peck, I won't have anything to do with killing a child. Great. And the little kid they got for the Omen was perfect. He was so little, so innocent, so sweet looking, and he would just turn around and have that look. It's like, it's all for you, Damien. The second one, I like because they turned up the gore level. I mean, it was a while. It was maybe by the third viewing that I could actually not turn away watching the elevator scene, because a lot of it was almost too much. It was I would see and then I'd turn away. But about the third viewing, I got used to it. And now that's like one of the highlights of the movie. Plus the guy under the ice. That just was horrifying. Imagine being trapped under there and you can't get out and you're flowing away. And yeah, anyway, great stuff. But my issue with this is it's very, you could squeeze it. It's like not. Look at that. What kind of support is that? So it kind of creases the edge. See that? This side not so much, but then it opens. It's like they made too thick of a box for, you got all the movies. And is that an extra disc? The Omen 3, Damien. Oh, it comes with the remake, which I haven't watched. And I don't know, I'll watch it someday, but yeah, it's like they made the box too big for it. It shouldn't have been that thick. Look at that. What are they thinking? And then you put it in there, and then it's no support. So anyway, those are the Omen movies. I am speaking quieter than normal because I hear there's someone upstairs, my neighbor, like walking. I hear him, and I don't want to be super loud because he's like, who's that? He's single down there. Who's he talking to? He's weird. James Franco and Seth Rogen. That's who I'm thinking of. 127 hours, still sealed. Haven't bought it. I haven't watched. I watched it. I've seen this movie twice already, but I haven't watched the Blu-ray since I got it. Got it in. It was like a $5.99 $5.99, $7.99 bargain bin, one of those. Danny Boyle directed. Big fan of Danny Boyle since back in the Train Spotting days, and watched all his stuff. There was a movie he did called Millions, where these two children find money, and I love that film, and it's not on Blu-ray. Probably as an import it is. But I haven't looked around for it. But Millions is a great movie. Sunshine, pretty good, although the ending gets a little Event Horizon or Hellraiser-ish. I didn't like the killer thingy of it, but the whole opening sci-fi stuff is great. Danny Boyle, I love it. Train Spotting. God, when we get to the tease, I'll talk all about Train Spotting. That movie affected me in my life at the time, and great movie. This was good. This is based on a true story. I love the ending of it. I love the hallucinations he has, and then the use of the real guy who was stuck in like a little cameo with the family, which I understand is really his family. Really liked it. I really liked this movie, the way it was done, because when you hear they're going to make a movie on that story, it's like 2 hours of a guy, he's not moving and he's just talking to himself. But no, Franco really did a great job in this. And it was like, wow, James Franco could act. Who'd have known? Who'd have thunk it? Another classic. Gosh, I was in this show too. I played Harding. Yeah. Laserdisc, DVD, VHS. I believe even before the VHS, I had recorded a copy of this movie off the television because I loved it so much. Jack Nicholson, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Yeah. Beautiful gatefold. Gatefold. What am I thinking? Digibook. Again, it's such a classic. What more is there to say about it? If you haven't seen... Why haven't you seen... What? It's surprising, and I better shut my damn mouth up, but it's very surprising they haven't tried to remake this yet. Probably because Michael Douglas is still around. I believe he's still producer, owns the rights to it. Maybe, I don't know. But that might be the reason why there hasn't been a remake, which is totally unnecessary. And Michael Berryman's in here, early Michael Berryman, and Danny DeVito is great in this thing. Gosh, everybody was great in this thing.
Nurse Ratchet, I want my cigarettes.
And poor Billy Babbitt. Stephen. Anyway, yeah, great movie. See it if you haven't. That's all I'm going to keep saying to you people. If you haven't seen it, why aren't you seeing it? I like all movies, you know. I got comedies, I got dramas, I got mysteries, I got horror, I got sci-fi, I got gory movies, I got funny movies, I like everything. The chance that I got classics. I don't have enough classics, but I've seen them so much that I don't need to see them all the time or have them in my collection. I still have like this huge long list of movies I would love to buy, but look at this. Where am I going to put all these movies? So I was just going to say, I mean, I'm telling a lot of people, I'm telling a lot of you, you know, if you haven't seen this, see it. You're going to like it. I'm talking to the younger generation of people that might not have maybe heard of this, and I'm not going to watch this. It's not going to be good. Watch it, dudes. You're going to love it. This Robin Williams, 1 hour photo. Beautiful slipcover, beautiful design artwork on this disc. It looks very Criterion-ish. And a movie possibly deserving in the Criterion collection. Some people that I know don't care for it. I thought Robin did a fantastic job in this. Something, again, totally different and creepy and just... Who directed this? Just really beautifully shot. Mark Romanek. Yeah. The market he's in. The department store. The store he's got the little photo thing in is just so bright and shiny and almost Kubrickian in a lot of shots. But if you haven't seen 1 Hour Photo, watch this and watch Robin. Watch what he does. He is another person. He is somewhere else. Not the manic guy that you are used to. And I give this two big toes up. This is a must see, possibly a must have for your collection. At least in my opinion. If you don't like it, you can pass. But if you're more of a Hook guy or a Moscow on the Hudson guy, God love you, but I love this one. It's a good movie. Oh, speaking of a classic, yeah, when this came out, it was $9.99. I haven't took the price off of the thing. Can't beat the deal. It's still cellophane because I haven't. This is definitely like a Sunday afternoon movie. This is like one of those movies where you sit back and you just say, okay, I'm going to watch an epic like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, or Ben-Hur, something like that. Once Upon a Time in the West. The movie that made Henry Fonda, made people boo Henry Fonda. Just the opening scene of them waiting for the train. You could just film. I'm sure in film schools they put this in and they just watch that opening scene just to see the sound design, the dripping on the hat, the visual compositions of the shots, the use of the widescreen cinematography, the use of close-up photography. Just that opening scene you could study, and it's jaw-droppingly beautiful and amazing. The score is really great. The story itself is really cool. Yeah, all around great classic. If you got an afternoon with a couple hours, three, it's a long movie. It's like Once Upon a Time in America. It's a long movie, but it's worth the ride. It's worth seeing. Get it. Slipcover. Like I said, still cellophane. I haven't opened it, and I'm not going to. So, get it? Got it? Good. Is this got a digital? No. Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. The Man Who Made Drive, Nicholas Winding Refn. Let me say if I'm saying that right. Nicholas Winding Refn. It's R-E-F-N. So how do you say F and N? Refn. Nicholas Winding Refn. Only God Forgives. The Man Who Made Drive did Only God Forgives. And God, I'm kind of speechless today. I really have no stories. Well, it's a newer movie, so usually the older movies. And I want to go fast. We only got 4 more to go, and I want to get this done because my movies are 2 hours here. Not for everyone. More style than substance. Although the substance that is there is like a puzzle. You really have to look and study and think. And there are quite a few synopsis ideas of what the movie means and what is happening in the movie online that you can check out. Chris Stuckman, who is a YouTuber, movie reviewer, actually does a pretty decent take on what this movie is all about and what some of the things in it and the symbolisms mean. Just a beautiful movie. Again, not for everyone. Definitely not for, like Drive. If you've seen Drive, Ryan Gosling and Drive, it's very much, it would make a great double bill. The sense of like an 80s neon movie, like a movie from the 80s, but with scenes of extreme violence that, like I said, can turn a lot of people off. But just as I said kind of about a Serbian film, which is not a movie everybody should watch, it is a very artistic, beautiful movie to look at. very well done technically, and that's all I'll say about Only God Forgives. Put it on the queue, see it. It may just confuse you. It may just, you might see it and go, what the heck did I just watch? I have no idea what's going on. Then go online and read a little bit about it, and then maybe watch it again, and things will start to make sense. Now when I watch it, I have what Chris Stuckman said, and when I watch it, I go, yeah, that's probably what that represents, and that could probably mean that. Yeah, okay. So I got a better understanding of it. This thing is still sealed. I love this movie. I said I don't like ghost movies. Ghost movies do nothing for me. Well, there's maybe a handful, like The Changeling, George C. Scott, The Changeling, The Haunting, definitely. When I was younger, 13 Ghosts, as B-movie cheap as that was, terrified me. Mario Bava's Black Sabbath, the Drop of Water short, even though it is a ghost movie, because it's the lady steals the ring, and then the old woman. I go back and look in the B's, just see my reaction to that movie. God, that thing. I went on about that movie, about how terrified I was of that old woman. Anyway, so yeah, this fits in there as one of those ghost stories, as does The Devil's Playground. I think that's what that's called. Criterion. The one with the children's school with the bomb stuck in the ground. That's kind of a ghost story. And I like that. And I'm talking about Guillermo del Toro's The Orphanage. Well, it's not his. Who directed it? J.A. Bayona? He produced it. But The Orphanage is a creepy little film that I really enjoyed. I loved it. And I got it this year. It was $9.99. It was a cheapo, so I picked it up. Still sealed. This is definitely going to be a Halloween watch for me. In October, I'll crack this baby open and watch it again. This one gave me a little chill here and there. I really did. I just enjoyed it. It's a good movie. The Orphanage. There it is. If you haven't seen it. You know what? No, I got this a while. It's $9.99. Even if the code is in there, it's probably no good anymore. Gosh, I forgot I had this. I need to watch this again. It's been a while. And I'm probably not going to remember much of it. Oh, I do remember. Wow, is this that movie? Okay, this was one of those movies that was sight unseen. I was looking for horror movies. What year did this come out? It's getting dark in this place. Even though you can see me, I'm having a hard time seeing because it's very dark. 2007 this came out. I heard about it, and I heard it was really good. And it was Blu-ray. I was like, hey, it's a Blu-ray movie, a horror movie. I'll take it. And back then, my collection wasn't as massive as it is. So I took a chance on Otis. Or Otis. I believe it's just Otis. It's the uncut version. Ileana Douglas. Kevin Pollak. What's he doing in this? Kind of a creepy character, Otis, who kidnaps a girl and wants to be her date, and the family starts torturing someone they think is the killer, and is it or isn't it? And then it isn't, and it's funny, and it's gory. And like I said, I probably haven't seen it since 2007, so it's been a long time since I've seen this movie. I'm going to have to watch this. Well, Halloween's coming. Here we go. Otis, man. Otis, my man. And look at it comes into the little disco ball. If you haven't seen Otis, I think I've seen this now on other Blu-ray releases. It's like a double or a triple bill where they have other horror movies, and then this is one of them. So if you could pick it up real cheap, you can get it that way. This is the version when it came out, so it's the original one. I don't see extras on the back anywhere, so I wonder if this is just a bare bones. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've seen this. But I recommend it. I'm going to say, guys, if you haven't seen Otis for a horror movie, a horror comedy kind of thing, check it out. It's really, really good. Wow. Steven Soderbergh. Yeah, he's made a lot of great films. I do remember Sex, Lies, and Videotape. I had that on Laserdisc. That was one of my first. When I had the Laserdisc machine, when I first bought it, my first movies I bought was Blade Runner, A View to a Kill, James Bond film, and Sex, Lies, and Videotape. Oh, and then shortly very after was Bad Influence, the Rob Lowe. Who's he? That other guy. I would love Bad Influence to come on Blu-ray. Where's Bad Influence? That's a movie. I love that. I Have the Fear. I Have the Fear. Please, I need help. And Rob Lowe. Oh, and Lucy Zane, Billy Zane's sister. Boy, she was hot in that movie. Anyway, we're talking about this movie. This Out of Sight. Out of Sight, man. What a great edited, greatly put together, visually beautiful to look at. Clooney being the best Playboy Clooney he is, Jennifer Lopez not doing a bad job at all in this flick. She's actually very good in this flick. A lot of people in this movie. Ving Rhames, Don Cheadle, Dennis Farina, Albert Brooks. I can't talk. I want to end this, folks. 2 more left. If you haven't seen Out of Sight, what do I usually say? Put it on your queue. See it. Good movie. Real good movie. And it's funny in parts. Pretty funny in some parts. Oh, wow. Okay, last 2. Say what you will. Growing up, well, not growing up, but in my throughout the 90s, I became a Steven Seagal fan. Yeah, I said it. Under Siege 2, even though not as good, but still a fun ride. All those movies, gang, mob type movies he did, where he's the tough guy. When he did that one where he's up in Alaska or Canada with the oil stuff, that's kind of like when I stopped. And that was when they kind of started not getting good anymore. I'm surprised they never put Steven Seagal in the Expendables movies. I don't know why. But there is a favorite of mine of his that, probably because of William Forsythe, I really liked his character in this. Badass. Drug badass. I'm talking about Out for Justice. This is my favorite Steven Seagal film. There's so much I like about this. I watched this so many times. Got blitzed so many with a drinky. Yes, got blitzed so many times watching this, and just loved it. It became one of those go-to movies for a good time. Yeah, I don't want to spend time looking. I'll just throw in Steven Seagal and then do stuff around the house or do my taxes or be on the internet and have it on in the background. Again, I think it's mainly because of William Forsythe, and I like the storyline. He killed the lady's husband, and then he's out going to get him. Say what you will. Say la vie. La vie. And the final O movie I have. Oh, Murray. Multi-Riva! I got to watch The Neighbors. After this, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a teeny little editing on here, and then upload it, and I'm going to go watch a couple episodes of The Neighbors, and finishing up season 1 of that. And then I got a new Rick and Morty to watch. Why am I talking? I'm just telling you what I'm going to do. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to watch a new Rick and Morty that just came out, I believe, last night. and a new Cops episode. My favorite reality show. I still, to this day, watch Cops. I love that show. Bad Boys. And then what else? Comedy Bang Bang. I have this newest Comedy Bang Bang that I haven't caught up with yet. Yeah, there's a show called Comedy Bang Bang, and you should watch it. It started out kind of quirky and weird. Now they know what they're doing, and these last 2 seasons have been fantastic. Although they got rid of Reggie in this season. And Rick and Morty. You should be watching Rick and Morty. One of the funniest science fiction cartoon animated shows, I should just say. Not cartoon. That is out there. It's brilliantly written. Anyway, the final Blu-ray is Outlander. A friend of mine told me about this. He said, you really should check this out. It's a cool movie. So I got a copy and I watched it. And I was like, hey, that ain't a bad monster movie. That time travel type monster thing in the medieval times, and they got to kill it and trap it and kill it. And Ron Perlman has a part in here. And who's the main guy in here? Howard McCain, filmed by Jim Caviezel, Ron Perlman, John Hurt. Yeah. So then the Blu-ray came out, and I picked it up, and it looks beautiful. You know, it's a cool little movie. It's nothing special. When I watched it again, well, it's kind of cool. It's just the idea that he's from outer space in another time, and there's a creature that came with him, and now he's got to, with the primitive medieval people, he's got to try to defeat this alien creature that's there, and it's a giant thing. And it's beautiful. It's like you can't see it, but there's parts of kind of like Monsters. That movie, where you really can't see the whole thing, although you do near the end. But you see it's like illuminated through parts of its body, the tail, lights up and everything. It's really kind of cool. It's a cool design for a creature. Reminded me of the Relic, like the creature from the Relic, Cthulhu. No, that wasn't Cthulhu. Whatever that little... Was it Cthulhu in the Relic? What did they call that little statue? Anyway, so I watched this again, and it's pretty good. It's, it's cool. And I watched it again, and I found a big plot hole in it. I'm not going to go into it now. Watch the movie. And then maybe we could talk about it. Maybe put a little message on the bottom saying, the plot hole you're talking about, is it this and this and this? And I'll say, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But there's a thing, and it's like, well, it doesn't work. I told my friend, I go, have you watched that recently? He's like, no, but it was a cool movie. I go, yeah, it is a cool movie, but at this part and then this, it doesn't make sense then. Oh, I never thought of that. And that kind of ruined it for me. Now when I watch it, that's like the thing that sticks out the most on the movie. But it's in the collection now. And I'll watch it whenever I deem ready to watch it again, go through it again. Those, my friends, are the N's and the O movies. We are at the 2-hour mark. This might be my longest video. Oh my God. Guys, I'm going to cut it short. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing if you're a new viewer. Please subscribe and watch my videos. Go back and check my older videos. There's some really goofy little films I made when I was younger, and they're on there. And check out the On the Down Low, the movie I made with my buddy Tadio Garcia. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff on there, although you should just get the movie on DVD. I believe it's going out of print, so get it fast. You can get it real cheap now. The movie's On the Down Low. And and then I have other videos, What's in the Box, where I give away my collectibles. Yeah, I just give them away. You just pay shipping. The last one was a lot of my magazine stuff. And there's still lots of stuff available if you go back in the past videos. And then there's the What's Roger Watching, whenever I'm watching, possibly with a drinking, more than likely with a drinky. I do a little video and give a real quick synopsis of how I'm enjoying the film. And then now I have these defending my collections. Go back and watch the A's through N's, and you'll see everything that's in my collection. Right up here you can see is the gap where all these just came from. So we're in the second group of Yeah, we did all that time for that, and now we're in the second. We're just starting at the top. We got a long way to go, folks. We just got rid of the O's. N, O. There's quite a bit P's. R's, T's, S's. There's lots of those. So I'm going to shut the hell up already. Those of you that are still watching, we'll get a little treat at the end because I did some goofy blooper stuff at the beginning, so I'm going to throw that out there. Most of you probably just dropped off because I'm done showing movies. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting me. Share the video with some of your other friends. Tell them, watch this guy. He's pretty funny, and he talks about movies, really kind of cool. And hello to all my other YouTube BlueTubers out there. I'm not going to go through a list. I'll do that in a shout-out video. But those that I do kind of communicate with, you know who I'm talking about. Hi, I'm still enjoying your stuff and watching your stuff when I can. And I think that's everything that I need to talk about. So guys, again, thanks for watching, and happy birthday if today is your birthday. And we'll see you in the next video. All right? Take care. Bye-bye. What you talking about, Willis? What you talking about, Willis? I'm trying to prime myself into a speaking time. That's usually what I do. Wow, it's warm. Oh. It's not really warm. It's like 75 out. It's real windy. But I got my windows closed. I just got home from work. And it's too noisy and it's making the blinds go weird. But I don't know why I'm saying that. Okay. I gotta go pay. Sound like the guy said he had to go pay. That's my terrible John F. Kennedy from Forrest Gump. Get all the giggles out. Get everything out. Get ready. Get ready. This is no doubt going to be at the very end of the video. For those of you who stick around, look for some bloopers. This ain't a blooper, it's just me getting ready to do a video that I haven't done. I'm not even going to talk. I'll talk about that later. All right. Mr. Producer's over there. He's really fake. As if you didn't know.